Well, let's see what we have today. This past weekend, we went to TKC Knives in Spurger, Texas. As you know, they're a knife dealer I've talked about in other videos. And it is probably like a candy store for knife addicts. I'm going to tell you what, they have so many beautiful knives, one-of-a-kinds, everyday knives, and, well, to be honest, everything in between. Um, my wife wanted to get me another Benchmade. As you know, for Father's Day, I got the APB Assist, which I've been carrying, and it was an excellent knife. I love that knife. It looks good. It feels good in the hand. It's really good quality materials. But when I was there for Father's Day, there were two knives that they were actually torn between my wife and my son, which one to get me. So she said, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and go back and get the one that I wanted to get you because I couldn't decide between the two. And to be honest, who can tell their wives no? I mean, she wanted to get me another knife. I'll go for that. So what I ended up with was an AFO II. That means the Armed Forces Only 2. Now, some people call it the automatic folding opener, but that actually stands for Armed Forces Only Series 2. Now, the Series 1 I never even saw, to be honest, I never even heard of. But this knife here, I've read about, I saw it, and I absolutely love it. Now, Benchmade knives are known for really good quality, and this one is no different. As a matter of fact, the sheath on this one, my APB did not come with a sheath, but it didn't really need it. This knife can be carried with the pocket clip or in the sheath. Now, being an Armed Forces Only, which the original intent was to be an Armed Forces knife, it is going to be military style, military type. Now, it's kind of an in-between size. To be honest, it's not really too large and it's not really too small. Now, the AFO II, this happens to be a black label knife as compared to the APB, which is the blue label. Now, the blue label is kind of your everyday or your mid-tier knife. They do have a red label that's inexpensive, a gold label that is super expensive for Benchmade, and then black label, which is said to be military type, law enforcement type knives. Now, this is an automatic knife. It does come with about a 3.5-inch blade, 3.56 to be exact. It is the 154 cm steel. It is coated drop point serrated. But that's what makes this knife different from other Benchmades. It's not just simply an assisted knife, and it's not a manual opener. It is a plunge lock automatic. Now, this knife right here, you can get it in several different combinations. You can get it with the drop point like this one. You can get it in a Tanto style blade. You can get it serrated like this one. You can get just a regular fine edge, or you can get the black coating, or just the satin finish. Now, seeing that this is a black label military style knife, I went with what you would consider the military combo, the blacked out blade with the serrations. Now, a lot of people aren't a big fan of serrations, but they do serve a purpose. There is a difference between cutting and basically sawing, and so there are times when you will need this. I've heard, for example, anything that's a seatbelt type material. Look, you can get under there and cut it, but actually having the serrations, cutting straps, some people say it works better. I like it. I used to not like the serrations, but there's been times where I've used it, and you know what? On a combo edge like this, because it is such a small section of the blade that is dedicated to the serrations, it is a combo edge. I mean, it's not full serrations, and it's not a full fine edge, so you get the best of both worlds. Aesthetically, some people may not appreciate it, but I really do like this style. Now, great looking knife, feels great in the hand. It does have jimping. The aluminum handles on this thing, they're textured, and they almost feel like what you would consider the material on chalkboard. It is very grippy, and it is intended to be used with or without gloves in regular or inclement weather. But the thing about it is plunge lock. Now, this is the AFO II, so it does come with a larger plunge lock system, just like the APB. It is a larger system in there, okay? like the APB has the larger, beefier bar on the locking mechanism. This series does have the larger locking mechanism. It's got a good amount of force to it. Now, it's got a safety on the back. I love safeties on automatic knives because when they're in your pocket, you can accidentally discharge them. Although I've never had it happen with, say, my ProTech series knives, I do appreciate having it on there. Considering the way this one carries in the pocket as well, and how far out this plunge button, the activating button, sticks out, I do like having the safety. Now, as you can see, when the pocket clip, when I received it, the pocket clip was on this side. Now, excuse me, holding it in the hand like this, it feels more natural to actually hold it, because it does have almost like a little choil, you know, the way the pocket clip fits right there, that you can hold on to it. And that actually works whenever you engage it as well. So I'll engage it, take it, and the fingers. Now, sometimes is it a little unnatural? Well, it could be, but it serves a purpose. Now I'm going to show you why. Because automatic knives or assisted knives, I really like to carry right hand, which I'm right-handed, right pocket, and I like to slide the blade against the far back side of my pocket. So I would reach in and pull the knife out like this. Now the problem is, originally, the clip was here, so when I put it in the pocket and slid it back, this was against my body. Could it go off? It could. Probably not, seeing the fact that they have a safety on it. You would just have to make sure you engage the safety. Now, with this knife in my pocket, because it is not a deep carry whenever you carry it tip down, because see the tip is pointing down, I would slide it in my pocket and the button would be facing out. So if you saw this inside the pants, you would actually see this much of the knife. It's a considerable amount, because I tend to love tip up carry. But again, that forces the button to be inside my pocket. Now on jeans, look, okay, I have the safety on. The blade will bulge. See the little blade bulge? That's what they call that. But it won't engage. But it could. Now, if it's inside your pants pocket, it could stop like that, but it's going to shred your pants. This one actually bit me on the finger just right here because I had my hand like this, like an idiot, and I opened it, and the tip of it caught me. If it's in your pants, it could possibly, and probably will, cut your pants. But keep the safety on, keep it like that, and it should be great. Now back to the use of this knife. Being that it is military style, there is another line of knives that is competing with this. And I'll compare that one in a minute. Now you can see it's similar in design to another one, and that one would be the Gerber 06. But this knife, I really like the feel of this in the hand, and it's considerably lighter, and I'll compare that in a minute. The action on this, though, when I got it, the action was a little bit lazy, and I was worried, but they said, hey, hold on, take it home, engage it a few times, and guess what? It's going to get better, and it has. This action has gotten a lot stronger and a lot quicker. I'm not saying that when I got it, it was weak or it was shabby by any means, but I am impressed by how much stronger the action does engage now that I've sat here and played with it a few times, carried it in my pocket, taken it out, shown a few people, and in the course of filming this video, I've engaged the blade more, and it feels very strong. So I am impressed by that. I'm not a huge fan of how solid the safety is. Remember on that APB assist I have, the safety is in the center of the spine, and it's a lot bigger and it's a heavier lock. Now this one is a little bit, dare I say the word dainty, but it is kind of a small safety. And being that it is military design, I really think that this should have been a more substantial style safety. I don't know if they were trying to keep it out of the way. I do like that whenever you were choking up on the knife, that you would actually engage the locking mechanism. So you're not going to get the blade to fold if you're choking up on it. And it's right in front of the jimping, so it actually adds to the jimping just like the APB did whenever it was in the locked form. Now you're going to have jimping on the bottom of it, where your hands fit in, and in the choil right here, and that's all real nice and real textured. Look on the website for Benchmade, and it says this knife does not have a glass break. I would consider that possibly a glass break, but whenever you look at Benchmade's website and you choose which options you want, your blade style, your blade finish, and if you want serrated, not serrated, I looked on there and it said glass break no. It could be just simply a skull pummel, maybe. Maybe they don't want you doing heavy striking on glass with that. I'm not sure. Maybe it was a typo. But it does seem like a very small glass break. It could be used as a pummel, though. I mean, if you did strike somebody on the top of the head with that, it is pointy, it is hard, and it is going to hurt. So, that's not the business end of the knife anyway. You'd probably want to use this, but if you're in the military, you're going to use a solid blade anyway, a fixed blade. Probably not a folder to fight with, but it's a good backup. It's a good utility knife. Now, how does this compare to the military knife that is touted as the automatic for the military? Well, let's take it out and see. That is the Gerber 06, and as you know, the Gerber 06 version I have, it's not quite a fair comparison, but there are similarities, so let's go ahead. This is, of course, the anniversary edition, so it's non-serrated. It does have the non-coated blade. It is satin. It is stonewash satin. It's a beautiful blade. But what I can tell you, this knife versus the other, and sheaths aside, the Benchmade is a much nicer sheath. I mean, this Gerber sheath, yeah, it's cool. It says Gerber and everything on it, but let's be honest, if you're using a military style, this is going to be more the military style sheath. So let's put these aside and let's get to the knives. Now, comparing the 06 Auto, the 06 Auto has S30V steel versus 154 CM. Now, S30V is considered a more exotic steel, better edge retention, harder steel, but it is theoretically prone to chipping easier, and it is way harder to sharpen. I promise you that. Every knife that I have that has S30V, good luck sharpening it. You better be a pro at it, which I'm going to admit I am not, or send it off to be done. 154 CM is slightly difficult to sharpen, but I'm going to tell you what, it is a leaps and a bounds ahead, easier to sharpen the 154. Now you can already see, between the two knives, this is classified as a 3.8 inch blade, while this is classified as a 3.56 to be exact, I believe. Yes, 3.56, 3.8. This is S30V steel, this is 154 CM. Now you can see there's really not that much difference as far as the length, but as far as the actual girth of the blade, the 154 CM on this one, it is a little bit thicker, but maybe only by a hair looking at them. I can tell you that there's way more belly on this drop point. It is a more substantial blade, and this knife weighs a lot more. This is approximately 5.5 ounces. This right here is over 7, almost 7.5. I've seen them anywhere from 7.25 to listed as 7.5. They do come with different type handles. I guess that would be the weight difference on these. But you can see this one, it's got some heft to it. I mean, when this one engages, it's slow, but it's methodical. I mean, it does, if you watch my wrist, it does shake my hand. You know, and you know, the little over exaggeration, I'm going to hold it still, and it's got some power. This one right here, turn the safety off, it's got more speed, not quite as much torque. Okay, so I'm gonna hold my hand still, and there is some jump to it, but it's faster. Between these two knives, and I'll turn this one upside down and we'll engage them. So safeties, see the difference in the safeties? I do like this safety more, but they're both good safeties. They work. That's the important part. Okay, you can see that both of these knives are good, solid automatics. This one right here is going to be lighter. This one right here is going to be heavier. Whenever you carry them in the pocket, maybe I should fold the blades, right? If I'm going to show how I'd carry it in the pocket, never carry them open. Rule 1. I'm just kidding. Safety's on. Let's see what we got. So carried in the pocket, this is the difference. You can see that this much would stick out of the pocket and this much would. Now, this one only has the option of being flipped. Always point up, but this one can be tip down, tip up. I'm choosing to carry tip down. This one would come out of the pocket, more natural, fire. Again, I'm not going to carry this one because this is that 10th anniversary, somewhat limited edition. They are producing more, but you know what? Whenever it's engraved right here with the 10th anniversary edition, not something I want to mar up or mess with. Why, when I already have a good substantial automatic I can carry? I'm not afraid of this one catching any abuse because I can resharpen it. And it's not limited edition like this one was. So, these are two plunge locks. This plunge lock seems to be more substantial. Looking at the top of the knives, you can see that this is way more of an open skeletonized, so you can clean the action, but this one is open as well, and the intent is for you to get in there and clean. Now you can see the liners inside this one, where this one just looks like it's handle scales. The finish on these, this is a smoother finish with a lot of texturing into the handle. This has texturing in the handle, but the actual material feels textured. Like I said, it feels like a chalkboard, so it is grippier. This one right here, if I pulled this out, for some reason this one to me looks more aggressive. This one looks more like, okay, guy's carrying a pocket knife, it's a tool. This one, when taken out, looks like, man, that guy looks like he's about to stab something. So for some reason this appears to be a more aggressive style knife. It is in a way a little bit beefier, larger. It is heavier, larger blade, broader blade, but they're there for the same purpose. They do make the standard military version of this one that you do get with the black blade. You do get tanto, you can get drop point, you can get serrated, non-serrated. I tend to carry the manual folders of this version, and I like it a lot. But to be honest, automatic wise, being that this one is lighter, it is not limited edition, I will carry this one a lot more. In Texas, it is okay to carry the automatic, so hey, I'm good with that. It's way under the 5.5 inches required. That's a huge blade, by the way. But that all changes September 1st. Look at your laws in Texas. You will be able to carry a Bowie style, a stiletto, boot knives, over, well, double-sided blades, any style, any length, and you will be able to carry the Bowie styles over the 5.5 inches, just not in government restricted areas. So cool deal. So Texas is coming more with the open carry, concealed carry, large and small blades. I might have to get me a cool Bowie to carry. It's kind of dumb, but hey, you know what? There might be a couple events that I could go to with that. So this is the Benchmade. This is the AFO II. This comes with the serrated black blade, drop point. You can get a lot of different options. I have seen companies that have different color handles that are exclusive, but I went with the all black military style. This knife right here retails for approximately $270, and you can find it on the open market anywhere from $220 to $222. There's not a whole lot of leeway with Benchmades. Now comparing that to the Gerber retailed for $237 to $265 depending on which style of 06 you get, but all of them are pretty much $160. So that was a $160 knife compared to a $220 knife, which is a tad bit odd because the Gerber does come with a higher grade steel, but the coating on this is really nice. It doesn't flake off from what I've read, but it can wear down, and it does coat the steel. Not that the 154 CM would need a whole lot of coating. You can keep a little bit of light oil on it, but it's not going to have a huge tendency to rust out. So it's nothing to worry about. This appears to be aluminum hardware in here. Again, not anything I'd worry about rusting. You can lightly oil it. It did come with a pretty good amount of oil on it that since I've worked it, it's actually worked the oil in and the action has become faster. So, if you're looking for an automatic knife and you want a military style, military grade, consider the Benchmade Black Label AFO II. Again, you can also think about those Gerber '06 autos. I wouldn't get the anniversary edition unless you're wanting to keep it as a keepsake. It's not something I'd want to carry around every day unless you're into that. I mean, if you want to get something limited edition and carry it, hey, that's awesome. Put it on YouTube, tell us about it, because I'm just not quite brave enough. I'd want to own two. Isn't that silly? I already own enough knives as it is. So, TKC Knives in Spurger, Texas. Man, I got to quit going there. I've ended up with two Benchmades, but my wife loves me. She got me this one and the other one, and probably shouldn't go there for a while because, man, that racks. We need some frequent flyer miles there or something. Buy 10, get one free? No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, Benchmade knives. If you're looking for good quality, they can't be beat. Hey, speaking of quality, next time I talk about knives, I think I might break out my old Microtech. Not just any one, the one I was able to just get in. It's an Ultratech, but it is the 2017 limited edition. Look at that, Blade Show 2017. So I might talk about this one next time. Look forward to that. So, thank you. Hey, if you're looking for a good knife, happy hunting. And keep the safety on.